Yo, what's up? What's good? What is happening? Welcome to the Sports Bar here at WTF Nation Radio, live 30 minutes late, April the 13th, 2025. To all of the haters out there like Mad Mike and CQ of Pop Culture Warrior, yes, we are live. We do have a sports bar here on Sunday. And I'm with my main man, the sometimes angry U.S. Army veteran coach. Coach, let the people know something.
What do you hear? What do you say, King? Oh, it's been a great daggone sports day. One more day, and I'm going to be a happier man. But yeah, buddy, I'm happy to be here on Sunday. I don't care if CQ had 200 shows. I've had 200 shows long before he had 200 pop culture warriors. I'm just going to say that. Oh, I do have a history of way over 200 shows. Oh.
Talk
But no, I
yo
kid, buddy. I
ish,
kid.
coach. I love it.
Ah, man, no, but hey, buddy, big stuff with that one, man. Congrats to Rory McIlroy on completing the career Grand Slam by winning the Masters today.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? That's one of the things that we are going to talk about. Do you have more to add to that as we go into the Masters a little bit later on in the show?
I will have more to add to that because I saw the last round and it was it was pretty nuts, and I really was worried there for Rory at the end. But yeah, I'll talk about that later.
Awesome. All right, perfect. Good deal. We are going to get y'all caught up on how the Masters ended today. More Tyreek Hill drama as some news came out about what he and his wife are going through. Coach and I at the Sports Bar have talked about Tyreek Hill once before, and he is the gift that keeps on giving when it comes to athletes making dumbass decisions. Also, we have a couple of videos to kind of lighten up the mood. One that I'm trying to queue up here so that we can start off the show on a funny note. And then what else do we have? We have some NBA news. We've got ooh, where did my notes disappear? We
I
have
also got some stuff about the NHL and all that. We can also take care about that as well. And
perfect. Major
we do
League
also want to
Baseball
might
started.
also want to go into college football too, because there's been another thing in college football
Ah,
with somebody we
yes.
spoke about earlier.
Yes, thank you. We are definitely going to bring that one up, and because I thought that that news was devastating, but it's got some layers within it on itself. So we are definitely going to hit up what happened recently in the NCAA college football landscape. Uh,
In case we do need to fill some content, we do have coaches kicks.
yes, we do have coaches' kicks. However, I might not be able to get those up in time, but I'm sure enough going to try. So without
All
further
good, man. Don't
ado,
worry about it.
we have a couple of people that have tuned in early in the building. Shout out to my lady, my boo thing, aka God Happened to Me, over on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. She is her and I just had a trip this past weekend. That's kind of a factor as to why I'm a little bit late today. Not 100%, but I'm just going to say that. We went down to Richmond, Virginia and went to a comedy show, me, her, and our kid, and everybody had a good time. Definitely glad to be back. And while I was on the road, the other person that is in the chat, Richard Bronco over on YouTube, gave me a call, coach, and he informed me of who we can contact if we want to get our show or WTF Nation Radio on a car. So I've got that information from Richard. Shout out to Richard for giving me a ring today to let me know who we need to reach out to about doing something like that. So
Yeah, I forgot all about that conversation. I've been trying to. I forget, and honestly, I forgot Bronco's phone number, so that's my bad, Rich. My bad, buddy.
it is all good. It's all good. He might have had some disparaging things to say about you, coach. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. It was definitely
Oh,
a
good.
good.
We still have the ban button.
Nah. It was definitely a good conversation. So thanks, Richard, for letting
Oh,
us
I'm
know
fucking with him. I'm fucking with him.
who to
I
reach
ain't
out
gonna
to.
ban him. I'll ban David Cunningham because we still owe him money.
So coach, you're reading my mind. So David Cunningham, congratulations on winning the 2025 WTF Nation Radio March Madness tournament. Yeah, sound effects button and things popping up on the screen. What David Cunningham said, instead of sending him money, he asked for merchandise from me specifically. So,
Merchandising,
yeah, man.
where the real money from the sports bar is made.
I got merch, bruh, but not from the Sports Bar WTF Nation Radio. He wanted King Smith merch. So I am going to get that out to him today. No, tomorrow. So David Cunningham, if
Well,
you are
hey, you
watching,
got All right, no, on my part too. I think David Cunningham. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to buy him a shirt off of our own WTF site, and I'm going to send that out to David.
Okay, I will get you his information as I'm sure that he's fine with
Please do.
me getting it to you. So, David Cunningham, you got two things coming for you. One from me that you asked for, and one from Coach that you didn't ask for. But you know what? That's what happens when you participate on things at the sports bar. You win shit and you get shit. So, with that being said, tune in when we come back for our sports trivia Sunday. Well, we are gonna have a show next Sunday, the 20th, but on the 27th, we're doing WTF Nation Radio Sports Trivia, where we're gonna have what, Coach, 30 questions roughly.
Yeah, I'm going to say 40 questions. I want to break it down. Yeah, we'll go. You know what? No, I want to do 40 questions because I want to do 8 different categories because everybody kind of complained that I only did certain categories. I'm going to do 5 from each category there. So we're going to do 40 questions, and it's going to change up from the last time. So the 4 that we did from that first one, those questions are going to be completely changed up from what we did last month.
All right, that's perfect. So tune in April 27th. That is the last Sunday of every month. We hold sports trivia where we give away stuff. It could be money, it could be a jersey, it could be a gift card, it could be shoes. You don't know unless you join, but we only give away the big stuff whenever we reach a certain threshold. So April 27th, Sports Bar Trivia, WTF Nation Radio. 40 questions. Coach makes the questions interesting. And when you hear 40, oh man, it's going to take. No, those 40 questions go by quick. All right. So be sure to tune in every Sunday, but especially on the last Sunday of the month where we give away shit here at WTF Nation Radio. Shout out to Tom Bannister over on Facebook. Says, now they're flooding in through Canada. Who is that? Am I missing something? What's flooding in through Canada?
Oh, the all the Canadian football players because they're playing Canadian football right now, and the NFL's over. They're playing for the USFL. They're all coming over. They're all coming over the border to play football now.
Hey, go get that money.
Hey, and it's Canadian money. We pay U.S. money in green. They pay monopoly money. So they're coming over here to play USFL football. That's who he's talking about.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, let's see. Let me see if I can get this first video here posted up here. All right, we're going to get in here. Let's do this. Let me click this button here. All right, so this is a motivational video for y'all. In case y'all are kind of like me, I was going through some gout issues over the last couple of weeks. Is why I did not have a show last weekend. All right, I've got to turn some things around and get my health in order. But when I was thinking about not being able to walk as well as I could last weekend, I came across this video that a viewer sent me, and it made me feel bad. And I told myself, you know what? There are no excuses. So take a look at this video. Uh-oh. I had to pause, go back, resize it. We're going to do it live. And then have it to where everybody can hear. And play that again. All right, let's go.
Best motivational speeches come from when you're 152 miles deep into your daily run. So here's your motivation for the day. Every single time I hop and every single time I step, my gonads are hitting the asphalt. So if you got all your arms and all your legs, get off the couch, wash the Krispy Kreme dust off your face, and get to running. Go home.
Coach, did you see and hear the video?
I mean, I would go ahead and make sure that I had a freaking a leather satchel, going over them, man, just to make sure that my nuts don't drag across the freaking thing. I can get a little bit of the pounding on there, man, but the running on the gravel part's going to be that little bit of a problem, man. That's that drag right there. So yeah, man, I'm hoping this guy's got like a fucking cod piece on.
Yeah. I forgot who sent me that video, but when I watched it, tears were coming out of my eyes. But what you just said was the first thing I thought too. I was like, how is he keeping his nutsack from scrubbing the ground in a way that's going to not hurt later on.
And that, I really do think that horsehide might actually be best thing for this guy. Not cow leather. He needs horsehide.
No doubt, no doubt. We've got 30
I can
people.
also give this guy a hand. Looks like he needs it.
Doo-doo. I got to get my soundboard working. We've got 30 people watching live right now. That's amazing. If there's a like button on the platform that you're watching this on, do us a favor. It's free.
Thank you for watching.
Hit the like
Yay.
button. And thank
Hit
you
that button.
for watching. Let's see. I've got another video here.
Hit it.
As one of the last times that we went live, it was the NCAA March Madness, in which we all know who came out and won that one. Coach, give us a quick recap while I queue up our next video here of what happened during March
All right.
Madness.
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, as oh yeah, great. Of course, give me a moment here because I do have it up, and if you can give me a second. Had to move it over to the different screen out there. But as we mentioned, David Cunningham, who is the winner of our NCAA Beat Coaching King tournament, picked the University of Florida to win the national championship, and then they ended up beating the University of Houston last Monday. Pretty decent game, back to forth. I really was hoping that UH was going to pull it out at the end, but yeah, Florida came home with the national championship. One of the great things that ended up happening was that if whomever was in our group would have ended up picking the winner, they would have won the championship. So with David winning in Florida, with Florida winning, David ended up winning it. Duke, man, Houston had their bell rung and then came back out of nowhere for it. But I also do think too, Florida was going up against Auburn, who they had faced twice already. In fact, faced three times, and I would say that with that familiarity, they were able to just pull that out. But man, Houston killed me that at the end. And this is the thing about Houston in these finals. So the last time Houston was in a final, they went against NC State, and that was that Phi Slamma Jamma, and man, Houston lost it on the last second bucket. I just feel so bad that they couldn't even get a shot up at the last minute, and Florida ended up going ahead and winning the game. So, but that white boy from Florida, yeah, man, he was a difference maker. Yeah. Hey, look, when white guys make a difference on the basketball court, you got to point it out because it's rarer feat than a chicken jockey dropping in a Minecraft movie.
That's
Did you
hilarious.
see that? Now, did you see that video? The chicken jockey video?
Yes, yep.
Oh dear God.
There were a couple of things that if we would have went live last week, I would have brought up. For example, in the recent 2025 NCAA tournament, there was a couple of bad beats that had occurred through betting. And what a bad beat is when you have, let's say that a total score was 62 points between two teams, right? And with like 5 seconds left, with the score being, let's say, 61, or no, I'll say 59. No, I had this set up completely wrong. Let me change up the numbers. If the line is 60 plus or minus 2.5, and the total between two teams is 60, and with the last second in regulation, a team shoots a three that they had no business shooting from like half court to win by 3, right? That's what's called a bad beat, or that's an example of a bad beat. There's other examples that I could have gave, but I wanted to kind of set the tone for what a bad beat is. Money can be made and lost on those last couple of seconds when you're talking about sports betting. So during the most recent 2025 NCAA tournament, in a match between the Florida Gators and the UConn Huskies, the game's total points over under was set at 150.5. And as the game was nearing the conclusion, the total points were under that threshold, favoring those who bet the under but in the final moments, UConn's Liam McKinley, who had been 1 of 7 from 3 points, sank in a last second 3 pointer, and that unexpected shot pushed the total points to 152, resulting in a 77-75 victory for Florida and causing bettors to lose their wagers in dramatic fashion. Another example that I could give y'all is that during the Big East quarterfinal between Marquette and Xavier, Marquette was leading 89-84 with just 2 seconds remaining. Game in hand, seemingly securing a cover for those people who bet on Marquette with a 2.5 spread. And this video, when I saw it, was one that everybody was talking about because Xavier's Ryan Conwell hit an unguarded 3-pointer at the buzzer, narrowing the score from 89-84 to 89-87. And that last second shot allowed Xavier to cover the spread, delivering a painful loss to those Marquette bettors. Now, when you looked at that video, when Xavier gave the inbounds pass in, because Marquette had already won the game, they weren't playing defense. So that the Xavier player was able to take that shot uncontested, which normally wouldn't have happened, which would have given that shot a drastic chance for not going in. And those that had bet on Marquette was looking at that like, what are you doing? Probably slamming their betting tickets on the ground as they just lost money. Coach, I'm a bettor. I'm a gambler. Have you ever had a bad beat yet while gambling? So far, through the sports gambling that I've done, I have not had a bad beat, but I've came close.
This is why I don't bet. No, I have not. And there is a reason for it. I can't remember who the person was, but it was one of the baseball. It was some baseball game or baseball movie. Don't remember what it was, but it was something about a gambler who there was a championship game or something like that. Something was done on the last minute, and while everybody else was celebrating, he was upset because somebody got beat on one of those bad bets, and or the one of the who got beat on one of those bad beats right there, and ended up losing about $75,000. In fact, I think I heard it on Real Sports with Brian Gumbel one time. So that's how long ago it was. I heard that on Real Sports with Brian Gumbel. I don't bet, period. So do I have empathy for somebody on a bad bet for doing something like that? Yeah, I do. I can kind of understand that. And I just find it funny that during the NCAA tournament, we did have to have public safety messages from the NCAA about retaliatory tweets and things against college athletes because of losing a bet.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit of disturbing for me, if you don't mind me saying so.
You know what? It is. I agree. Just because you have access to people now, right? You have these athletes that, for their own exposure, are on the social media platforms like X or Instagram. But you got these crazies out there that feel like because they have access, that when the player does something that they don't agree with, they're going to go on there and use their Twitter fingers and X fingers and Instagram fingers to give these people a piece of their mind. Whether it's they pay tickets for an event and that person didn't play, or you have something like a bad beat that occurs and they want to go and blame that player for them losing the mortgage payment that they just betted on because they thought it was a sure thing. I don't agree with that at all, Coach. And shame on those people that have the audacity to think that that's okay, because it's not.
We can delve into this into another topic if we want. If we honestly,
We should.
if we ever want to do one day, like instead of doing trivia, I can do the whole thing on sports gambling, because man, we can talk about just the hypocrisy of sports. Is all I am going to say is the hypocrisy of sports, because every bit of sports right now, for American sports, the vast majority of the advertising, in fact, the actual companies that are now running the regional sports are gambling, and the money is what's bringing in the advertising to these pro sports. So let's talk about that on a completely different show because that deserves its own show and its own day for us to speak about that.
I like it. That sounds good. Shout out to Susan Brandstetter on YouTube that said, I'm here watching, mostly listening, as a supporter friend. Susan, thank you. I'm not really in the mood to socialize, not even virtually via text. I've reached my stupid people exposure limit. King is cool though. You know what, Susan? Let me bring this microphone. Susan, thank you. I really do appreciate that. I also understand when you are living life and you reach your stupid people exposure limit. I've had that happen recently to where I said, you know what? I'm just going to stay in my house, which is my castle, and relax and stay away from dumb people. So, Susan, thank you. That is awesome. I appreciate you showing support just by turning us on, hitting that like button, and just letting us play while we say some outlandish things sometimes here at the Sports Bar on WTF Nation Radio. Shout out to
Damn right we do, but I'm not going to be tonight. I'm going to try to control myself.
Good deal. You know what, Coach? I
Although
am building.
I'm looking at these Jordan 6 Gatorades right now, and
Uh-huh.
I'm wishing that I did not just buy a new pair that I'm going to end up flipping here.
Oh, nice, nice. I'm in the process of building a coach's rant button that when I feel you about to go on a rant, it's gonna go and the screen's gonna flash, and then it's gonna say coach's rant incoming, and then you could just go into it. That
Hell.
that will be built here real soon.
Oh, that's going to be used especially towards the October if the Yankees don't pull their heads out of their asses.
Shout out to Richard Bracco says, shame on those players for not playing buzzer to buzzer. Richard, I agree. So I played sports primarily in high school, some a little bit after high school, and intramural as well. And I've always said, if you're going to be out there, no matter what the stakes are, play to the very end, right? Especially when it comes to sports, because as you age, you only get so many quarters, so many miles on your feet, so many shots that you could take before your body just breaks down, right? And until somebody discovers the fountain of youth, that's just life. And I think people don't take advantage of the fact that they should run hard and play hard from buzzer to buzzer. Now, I'm guilty of not recognizing that until I got a little bit older. But it's one of those things that I think that when you cherish the sport that you're playing, and if you can realize that and have somebody that's a mentor teach you that at a young age, you can apply those things in sports throughout life and become real successful. Sidebar. That's why I'm thankful that I played team sports. I didn't get the opportunity to play team sports until I entered high school. And I was actually really damn good. I'm going to see if I can find some of my newspaper clippings of me back in the day. There is a highlight tape of me playing tailback somewhere on YouTube. I think I showed it in one of our very early episodes. But the team sports that I played translated well into joining the Air Force right after I graduated high school, right? You're part of a team that's doing something to complete an overall objective. And I was enlisted aviation, so I was part of a crew, a flight team, if you will. And I think that people that don't get the opportunity to play team sports, they're missing out unless they can capture that in something like what my daughter did, which she didn't play sports, she did show choir, right? That team dynamic, I think if you could get that at a young age, it helps you when you become an adult, in which a majority of jobs or careers out there, you're having to work with other people. Coach, do you have anything to add to that?
The team aspect of sports always has the life lessons that you have about working within some type of community and essentially working around other people. that is like the intangible lesson. It's not so much the sports skill that you're actually learning for it, but I'm glad that, I do advocate that being around a team sport, knowing your way around a team or how you fit into the team brings out what is best for you. I mean, I was a point guard, I was a distributor, I was the one who highlighted everybody who had to score and, get them the way to do it. I played defense and I distributed, and that's how I was able to figure out what was best for me to do. It was the best way to be the distributor, to be the one that I can connect people from one thing to another, so that they can get their, be able to score or be able to get their best. So yeah, it does bring out things that you learn in life, as well as how to shoot a good J, or in your case, how to fumble the ball.
Hey, I didn't do my share of fumbling. I'm not even gonna front. I was known for running hard, but I also had a fumble issue. My
Mark
junior year,
Sanchez was also known to run hard right into the ass of his O lineman.
doo aka the New York Jets butt fumble. That video, matter of fact, Coach, I think before we end this stream, I'm gonna find that clip and play it because it brings me to tears every single time I watch it. Shout out to Ernest J. Workman. That's a really good last name if that's your real name, Workman. That's a strong name. Said my stupid people meter never leaves full. I love it. I appreciate the laugh, Ernest. Ernest said my stupid people meter never leaves full. Man, I hear that, Ernest. 100%.
Oh hell yeah!
Let's see. All right, we can. I'll skip that video because we've talked about NCAA college enough. Let's move over to NBA news. Before we get into the playoffs, there's two things that I want to highlight. First of all, shout out to Chris Paul for making NBA history, in which in his 20th year has started all 82 NBA games as he was in the starting lineup for the season finale today, making him the first player to make 82 starts this deep in an NBA career. The
Yeah,
previous mark was held by Utah's John Stockton, who started all 82 games in his 19th and final season.
yeah, that great accomplishment by Chris Paul, and Chris Paul looks like he might be going back again next year. Same thing with LeBron for 23 years. It's kind of we're getting a lot of people with longevity coming in as far as the NBA is concerned, but that's also with the indoctrination or with everybody who skipped high school or went for the 1 year out of high school or 1 year out of college. You had a lot of people that were able to start their careers a lot earlier than several other people in the NBA. And on top of that, let's also admit too that the current NBA, with load management and the lack of defense, the lack of the defensive 3 seconds, which clogs up the lanes, and the tic tac fouls, has elongated the careers of a lot of players. By the way, King, just so you know, man, you might want to minimize the
Ah,
comments. It's blocking out like
yes.
a quarter of your face, even
Thank
though
you.
I'm trying. Yeah, that's a little bit better right there. Yeah, buddy. Gotcha.
Good catch.
So yeah. All right, man.
All right, let me see. We got a couple of comments here. Actually, let me finish this out. So, this season, Chris Paul was one of 6 players who made all 82 starts, which ended the NBA regular season that ended today. New York's Mikal Bridges, Minnesota's Jaden McDaniels, Houston's Jalen Green, Cleveland's Jarrett Allen, and Chris Paul's teammate Harrison Barnes. With Paul, Barnes, and Julian Champagny. I think that's how you say that. The Spurs became the first
I
team
got no clue, man.
since the 2017-2018 Timberwolves with at least, excuse me, 3 players to appear in 82 games. So, shout out to those guys. And with Chris Paul, because of the position that he plays and the way that he plays, he's not needed to be a scorer. He can be a facilitator, and he's essentially a coach on the field or on the court. He didn't get the chance to have Wimby this entire season as Wimby got hurt, which I don't see somebody that's built like Wimby to be able to. I don't think he's gonna last 10 seasons. I know, like, how many seasons did Yao Ming play?
Yao went underneath 10 too because his frame was a little bit too big. Like he went like a good 6 or 7 years where he was all-star team and the second best center in the NBA behind Shaq. But then the injuries caught up to him, and when they did, it was like a brick fucking wall to Yao.
Yeah, so Yao being what 7'6",
7'6".
7'6", he played 8 seasons from 2022 to 2010, averaging 19 points and 9.2 rebounds in 486 regular season games. When you're built like that, especially with the game being, I'm gonna say, more physical, I just don't see a player like Wimby being able to go past 8 seasons total.
I give him about 10. I give him about 10 because you look at right now with the way that they're kind of using some people with height. The D in corner three, big man has been extending the careers of a lot of big men. Look at Al Horford. Look at one of the Lopez's. I can't remember which one. It might have been Robin or the other one. But the D and three player has become kind of this little cliche type of player that has been able to score on that 3 point from the corner and play some good D to extend it out and do that. Wemby can do that for a while because I mean even at 7'5", he still is a presence, and unlike the other 7 foot, I'm going to say above 7'3", 7'4" players, Wemby has a shot. Wemby has a good shot. Yao wasn't it. Neither was Sean Murasan. Well, Manu Bull was, but that was. But that being the future a little bit further out in the NBA because of the way that the current NBA is being played.
No doubt. Sticking to NBA news, LeBron James also made history, but in the wrong way. This was his first season in which he averaged under 25 points per game. Now, when you consider how old he is and the fact that he's still playing at a high fashion, averaging under 25 with a 24.4 points per game regular season average is still no small feat. And
Let's and how many and how old is LeBron this year? He turned 40, right?
LeBron's the same age as me, so 40. Yep.
Okay, so let's also remember this. Now, I'm going to go longevity wise, and here's a compliment I am going to give LeBron regarding his longevity. In his final season, in the season that Jordan turned 40, he averaged 22.7 points a game. LeBron is averaging more at the end of his career than Jordan was at the end of his career.
I'm clipping it. Y'all just heard Coach give LeBron props.
Hey, no, going 22 years and next year being the only player to, which he'll end up doing. He'll be the only player to end up going 23 because he's at the end of this one and he'll be done at the end of this season.
Ooh, so you think
So I
this
mean,
is his last year?
yeah, I think next year's his last year. He got the thing with Bronny up there, and now if Bronny can play with him, he's great. He goes for one. Let's call it the goodbye run. That's the best way I could say that. It's the goodbye for everybody. Let LeBron get his freaking flowers on his way out of here, just in the same way Kareem did. That when you knew that they were retiring, and kind of in the same way they did with Jordan when he was leaving, because there was a lot of people knew that it was going to be the last season for him. Let this be, that kind of go away for LeBron and let him get all of his shit out of there for the year. So I'm good with that.
No doubt. All right. And the final thing to
And
cover.
besides that, too, the other thing, he's got another shitty movie he's going to have to put out in a couple of years. And let's be honest, freaking, what's his name? Bronny is going to end up turning into the Jaden Smith of the NBA. So let that happen.
Nice. Now we do have the playoff set. The number one seed coming out of the East are the Cleveland Cavaliers over the Boston Celtics, which is a surprise by a lot of people, as the preseason favorites in the East were the Celtics again. And out of the West, man, the Oklahoma City Thunder with a 68-14 record. That is a winning percentage of .829. They had the best percentage this NBA season. They take the one seed out of the West. Now, let's look at those that are going into the play-in tournament. You had Golden State at the 7 seed going into the play-in. Memphis, Sacramento, and Dallas, who barely made it by the skin. Right? They didn't barely made it, but they're playing like a team that just don't even deserve to be in the play-in period. Out of elimination were Phoenix, Portland, San Antonio, New Orleans, and the Utah Jazz, which had the worst standings this year, going 17-65. Who's your favorite out of the West before we go into the East? You got Oklahoma, Houston, LA, Denver, the Clippers, Minnesota, Golden State, Memphis, Sacramento, Dallas.
No, it's OKC out of the West. Period. End of statement. Don't see anybody else coming out of there. I do want to make one mention regarding OKC and Denver, and also regarding Jokic. So almost next to impossible. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Good. All right, because I'm moving my thing, and I have my mute button on. It is next to impossible for any NBA team to um what was I trying to how am I trying to put this? Um SVG is going to win the SVG is going to end up winning the MVP this year. And the reason why I say that is because out of 68-14, every team that has had somebody who has won who has won over 67 wins in an NBA, with the exception of Michael Jordan in the 96-97 season, has won that MVP. Curry unanimous MVP. You had one of the Jerry West MVPs. You have a Wilt MVP in there, and a couple one as well as a Bird one, and another. He has 167 minus that 1 year that Jordan won, or excuse me, that Jordan lost it to Karl Malone. That is the only year that an MVP has ever come out from that, and has come from a team that has won over 60 games. The reason why I say that is because pulling out one of the biggest freaking seasons that has been underreported in NBA history, and that's Nikola Jokic. Averaged as a center, damn near averaged 30 points. And I believe if he got 42 today, he could have ended up having 40, but I don't know what he ended up doing today. And he should have been a shoe in this year for this, but SGA 32.7 points per game at this season, and Golden, and with the way that Oklahoma City just finished up, I don't see Oklahoma City getting out. SGA winning the MVP this season. History has its precedents, and a 68 win team leading the league in scoring. Yep, you're going to win the MVP this year, buddy.
You had very similar points that I was going to bring up. Jokic ended up going 7 for 10. He didn't shoot a lot. 7 for 10, 18 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists today in the win over the Houston Rockets. And he still played 31 minutes
Yeah,
today.
yeah,
Interesting.
but and that's where that Jokic has had the monster season, but I also think that Russell Westbrook has ruined the triple double stat,
Mm.
because Russell Westbrook averaging that triple double in that first year he wins the MVP. All right, but they made it to the second round or third round, and then he has just been out of the playoffs since then, and it's been that selfishness type of thing. So to pull out some, Jokic had a great season, but and it would have been historic had Russell Westbrook not done it and sullied it being Russell Westbrook.
No doubt. Now, I'll give you my prediction out of the West too. for very similar reasons, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder. If they keep playing at the same level that they're playing, which they've made it look easy. I've watched a couple of their games. They've made it look easy, in which they're averaging 125 points per game, second to Denver, in which they're at 120.8. All right. But their points differential and what they keep opponents to is what stands out. So they're keeping opponents at 107.6. And when I take a quick glance, the only other team that comes close is my favorite out of the East, which is the Boston Celtics. All right, so out of the West, I've got Oklahoma City. When you take a look at the East, you have Cleveland at 1, Boston, the New York Knicks, Indiana Pacers, Milwaukee Bucks, Detroit Pistons, and coming into the play-in, Orlando is at 7. Their play-ins were the Hawks, Chicago Bulls, and the Miami Heat. I'm going to give my prediction first out of the East, as Coach gave his first out of the West. I think Boston is going to come back out and win it out of the East. While the Cleveland Cavaliers have looked good, they played great at home, going 34-7. 12-4 in their division, 41-11 in the conference. They've been lighting up the scoreboard as well, averaging 121.9 points per game. But their defense isn't as good, not on paper and not even in person, as they're giving up 112.4 points with a differential of 9.5. Boston, on the other hand, while they haven't scored as much as Cleveland has throughout this season, they play way better defense. And when it comes down to it at the end, in basketball, where you have players playing at the top of their profession, I believe that in the East, you're going to see defense win games, and Boston tends to turn it up in the playoffs. So I've got a OKC versus Boston finals, in which I'm going to have OKC coming out, and SGA is going to be this year's 2025 NBA playoff MVP.
I'm disagreeing with you right now, just so that I can have a disagreement. Because even though I do believe that Boston is the team to beat, man, Jalen Brunson just came back. Finally got a good center in Carl Anthony Towns. Josh Hart's playing. OG's playing. I mean, they're starting to get healthy again. I've been wanting a damn championship out of Madison Square Garden. I said there was going to be one this year. Well, I thought it was going to be St. John. No, I don't know. 3 seed now, waiting for the 6. Oh, fuck it. Go, New York. Go, New York. Go. Fuck this shit. You got rid of Julius Randle. You got Carl Anthony Towns. I'd be a fucking hypocrite if I didn't fucking say that one could have won the fucking East. Well, guess what? Now is the time. Put up or shut up. Knicks, you are coming out of the East. Now, look, whether or not you beat Oklahoma City, that's to be determined. Hey, look, weirder things have happened. 73-9. But yeah, I'm going with my heart on this one. I cannot give up on the Knicks. I cannot give up on the Knicks. They are healthy. They are back. They've got a freaking. They don't have somebody who sits down to piss under as a power forward in Julius Randle. They have somebody who has some daggone balls in Carl Anthony Towns, number 3 in rebounding. Thank God. The last person who was number 3 in the rebounding from the New York Knicks. You know how long ago it was? It was Patrick motherfucking Ewing. That's how fucking long ago it was. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Let's go, Knicks.
Ooh, so you're saying Knicks out of the East. Are you having the Knicks and OKC playing against each other
Yes.
with the Knicks winning overall?
Let's make that determination when that comes.
Yeah. Dang it, y'all! I almost had him. No doubt. You know what, Coach? I respect and appreciate you rooting for the Knicks. Who knows, man? Uh, if that becomes the case, how many courtside cameras are we going to see with all of the celebrities to include Spike Lee in that championship matchup?
There's not going to be any fake celebrities there because they will be booed out of the building. That's the
Nice.
other thing too. Let's be honest. If anything happens in New York, it has to be authentic New York. Fake New York is where Yankee Stadium is. Fake New York does not show up at Madison Square Garden. It doesn't show up during a hockey game. It sure as hell will not show up in the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals. Robert De Niro is not going to magically show up at fucking Madison Square Garden like he will over at Yankee Stadium because Hal Steinbrenner's got a fucking pussy. That's why, the Yankees will never win with him. But no, that will not happen in New York because the real New York fans will be there. And if James Dolan ever does win a championship, I take back maybe about 4% of the bad things I've ever said about him.
Hmm. Okay. Oh wow, we got a lot of news to cover. So let's jump right into the next thing. Let's do the hockey coverage as we had a record get broken. So coach, lead us off here. Tell us about the scoring record and what are your thoughts on it?
So, King, you were calling it, and it just so happened, and we did mention this. We were mentioning this about Alexander Ovechkin. The same number of games, if he passed it, then he would be unquestionably the greatest goal scorer in NHL history. Well, lo and behold, on game 1486 of Alexander Ovechkin's career, he nets goal 895 to surpass Wayne Gretzky to become the greatest goal scorer in NHL history. And it is safe to say that he will be playing another year, and I think agreed again that might also be one of the last years of him playing because he would be like his 22nd year or something like that. This might be in like another thing with LeBron. We might be seeing another greatest of all time, one of the greats of all time, not the greatest of all time, but we're going to be seeing one of them leaving the sport at the end of 2026. And congrats to Ovi for passing Wayne Gretzky on exactly as many games. Is he the greatest of all time? Hey, look, he's up there. I don't think he is the greatest because he was a little bit more one dimensional than Wayne Gretzky was. Gretzky brought all of his players that played with him and elevated them. While as well scoring as many goals as Gretzky did, Ov has been known as a great goal scorer, and on top of that, well, we can talk about Stanley Cup championships and all that other things. Is a Stanley Cup champion, but Ovi is a phenomenal great goal scorer. So the greatest goal scorer of all time, it is Alexander Ovechkin. You know what? It would be like me saying, how would I put this? Okay, hear me out. In a way, 714 is still the all-time home run record. Reason why I say 714 is still the all-time home run record by Babe Ruth is because Hank Aaron technically did that through more games than, I think he played like maybe 300 more games to get hit 715. All right, no problem there. But I will also, at the same time, too, realize that there was no Negro Leagues during Babe Ruth's time, so there's an asterisk on those things. There's very few things like LeBron's scoring record. Okay, there's very few things that are cut and dry with who's greatest in what types of things. Ovi shut it all up and did it in the exact number, so he can definitely lay that claim that he is the greatest goal scorer of all time. But the greatest player? Nah, that's still Gretzky.
No doubt. Now, the playoff picture for the NHL hasn't officially been set. As of yesterday, some teams did get officially eliminated: the Detroit Red Wings, the New York Rangers, and the New York Islanders. Man, teams from New York just catching wreck in all sports, right? So, coming down to the matchup from today, in which the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Montreal Canadiens are looking at keeping their playoffs hopes alive. In the West, the St. Louis Blues kept their hope alive for the Calgary Flames, losing in a shootout to the Seattle Kraken. Meanwhile, the Winnipeg Jets and the Vegas Golden Knights have won their games to clinch division titles. In the end, with the regular season approaching this upcoming Thursday, there are many stakes in play as to who's going to make it to the Stanley Cup. Coach, I'm not a hockey fan like that. What's your take on how the postseason is going to shake out in this upcoming NHL postseason?
Uh, you know what? I am going to go with the Capitals or the Winnipeg Jets, and the Capitals are the ones that are in the top of the Eastern and Western. But for me, I'm going to go with the Toronto Maple Leafs because, as we've mentioned, Toronto Maple Leafs have been the longest without the Stanley Cup. And there's a certain Scottish fan that, please tell me you downloaded that freaking video.
Not yet, but I'm going to. I'm trying to
Oh, you
find
know
it.
which one I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
Well, as you go over to do that one, there's a very very nice Scottish fan who, if the Toronto Maple Leafs ended up winning the cup for the first time in daggone near 70 years, this Scottish woman would become an instant celebrity. And needless to say, if she ended up becoming an instant celebrity, it would be absolutely awesome. Other than that, do I really do think anything else is going to happen? It's the Stanley Cup playoffs, so any hot goalie can go ahead and bring things forward and bring their team up to it. Hell, even the Devils can go ahead and get that, even though they just snuck in and maybe bring a different curse to it. But I would definitely say that. The Toronto Maple Leafs, for me, that's going to be my pick for winning it. And please tell me you've got it now, King. Please tell me you got it.
I'm trying to find a good one. Hmm.
Which one? Well, wait a minute. There's like three of them, isn't there?
Yes.
The one that says massive fucking.
Yeah.
That's the one I wanted to play.
Let me see if this one's a good
Hold
one.
on. All right. You go ahead and go, and I'll look for the video. You go into the next topic, and I'll bring that up. Okay, buddy.
All right. All right, here we go. I got it. This is gonna be interesting. Let me see.
Oh yes.
I can do it this way. Actually, Coach, keep talking. I got it. I just got to download it a certain way.
All right, go ahead and download it. So, not a problem there. Hey, and by the way, we are going to be talking about the Masters here. Rory McIlroy completing the career Grand Slam,
That's
one of
next
the six or technically seven career Grand Slam winners that played golf. And then, are we going to close out with that story of college football about Kieran Lacey?
Yes.
Ah, awesome. Yeah. So, but yeah, man, and then you know who I am definitely not rooting for? I
Who's
am
that?
definitely not rooting for the Tampa Bay Lightning because I'm tired of Tampa Bay. I'm tired of Florida teams winning stuff. I really do want a Canadian team though. And the good thing is that maybe if it's the Maple Leafs and the Jets, that means that Canada is finally going to get an All Canada Stanley Cup, which means that we will have more time for us to watch the NBA playoffs because nobody's going to give a flying fuck about the All Canada Stanley Cup except for Canada, right? So
Hey.
they give all the NHL resources to Canada, and that means we should have a good NBA. All right, so here. Wait, no, that's not it.
No, 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 no. Trust me, it is. Trust
Oh,
me.
okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the reason why I want the Toronto Maple Leafs to go ahead and win the Stanley Cup this year because this fan here, she is awesome. She is Scottish. She is part of my bloodline. I need to find out if I am somewhat related to her because if not, then I am divorcing my wife and I am marrying her. Yes, yes, dear. Yes, Mrs. Coach, you heard that correctly.
All right. So this clip I've taken from the Flagrant Foul um, channel. So fair use Flagrant Foul. I'm playing y'all's clip. Check out this lady.
My attention by the internet, the glorious internet, that my mom was caught outside of a Toronto Maple Leafs hockey game recently.
I'm really sorry. I came all the way from Scotland. I thought the Leafs were going to win. 2 games they lost. It must have been the fact that the guys were so overwhelmed at the size of my massive they lost concentration. I am sorry. They let me sit on the bench. That's why they lost tonight. They were overcome by Scottish pheromones. They didn't know what they were doing.
We see if I can go back to the to play the slow motion here.
Thought the Leafs were going to win. 2 games they lost. It must have been the fact that the guys were so overwhelmed at the size of my massive
I bet
Yes.
that
Yes,
woman
it is
is a
hysterical.
hoot to hang out with.
Yes, I want, and you know, at the last game of the season, there's another one. Like whoever found it, there's another video of her. They got her FaceTiming over there, and she's excited about the NHL playoffs. Man.
Let me run that back in. I'm going to play the whole clip through.
The guys were so overwhelmed at the size of my massive they lost concentration. I am sorry. They let me sit on the bench. That's why they lost tonight. They were overcome by Scottish pheromones. They didn't know what they were doing.
They let her sit on the bench?
I never understood where you got your confidence until that clip. Now it all makes sense.
Yo, they might be the most confident people.
Man, let me tell you, Coach, have you ever hung out with anybody from Scotland or a Scottish person?
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, fucking course I have. My whole fucking family.
Oh, okay. Man, I'm
Yeah.
talking about absolutely fun. I've never been to Scotland, but on one of my deployed locations, we had the Royal Scottish Air Force, I think that's what they're called. And
yeah, well, it's part. Yeah. They're all part of Her Majesty's Royal Air Force.
man, yes, those guys do the military right. Let me tell you, because they're professional, but they know how to let their hair down and have fun. And I've had the opportunity to hang out with some of their aviators, and man, they do the military straight out of something like a Top Gun movie. It was a blast to hang around those guys. And I've always said that when I get the opportunity, I would like to go to Scotland and just experience their culture. I've traveled all over the world, but that's one of the places that I have not visited. They are very welcoming from what I've heard. And if people are like how that lady is over there, sign me up.
Oh yes, they definitely are. And trust me, they half of them don't give a shit. They want you just to live your life. They don't give a
Yes.
flying fuck. That's kind of that best way to say it. So yeah, do it, man.
Yes, they're just about having a good time. Point blank, period.
And about having massive fucking tits.
Oh man, hey, thanks for setting that up, man. Because I saw that video, and as soon as you brought it up, I said, "Oh, I wish I would have had that one queued up." Now let's see. Oh, we've got a couple of things to cover, so let's go over to the Masters. Coach, lay it all out.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, I just got done watching it right before we went on live, and if you did not watch the final round of the Masters, I'll give you a summary of that. Rory McIlroy, who has not won a major championship since coming out of the gate real strong and winning four before he turned 25, has not won a major championship in over 11 years. He had the lead after 54 holes going into Sunday's final round of the Masters. And then him and Justin Rose were tied. Justin Rose had already finished up his round. Rory on 17 hit a birdie putt to put him one shot ahead. On the 18th hole, Rory's second shot hit into the bunker. The third shot out of the bunker was miraculous. It set up a great 5-foot putt that ended up turning left right before the hole. So Rory ended up bogeying the final hole, and went into a one. Excuse me. They ended up going into the playoff. Rory hit his tee shot pretty well, and it was with Justin Rose. Justin Rose hit a pretty good tee shot. Justin Rose's approach shot landed within about a good 8 to 10 feet of the cup. Rory's second shot landed 3 feet away from the cup. Once that happened, Justin Rose went up and he ended up two putting for the. He ended up two putting over on the 18th. Rory drained the 3-foot for a birdie and takes a win. Wins the Masters, his first major championship in 11 years, and becomes the 6th PGA champion to complete the career Grand Slam, joining Bobby Jones, some dude from 1930, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus. Tiger Woods last did it 2000. Nobody else has done it since, and now Rory has completed the career Grand Slam by winning all 4 majors, winning his first green jacket today at Augusta.
Have you ever been to Augusta for any golfing event?
No, I have not. I have heard a lot of things about it. I have also heard that everything outside of Augusta National is like going down to frickin' Ocean Boulevard in Myrtle Beach, or one of those tourist places like over in Gatlinburg or Surf City or in Branson or something like that. I've heard it's like nothing but daggone Hooters and right outside there, and all tourist traps. And then next thing you know, you got beautiful Augusta just behind that gated fence out there.
That's exactly how it is, man. I've been out there a couple of times. I've also been to, is it still called Fort Gordon up there?
I've got no idea. Is that the Signal one? I don't look, all the bases in Georgia. I've got no idea, and I know that, like I said, I even know one of them was now owned. I think it was like Fort McPherson is now owned by Medea. I kid you not.
Hey,
Tyler Perry Studios is on one of those bases. I can't remember which one it is, and I thought Gordon was moved to Eisenhower. I've got no idea which one's what now.
yeah, see, that's what I think. Let's see. Let's look this up.
Yeah.
Fort Gordon,
Oh, hey
GA.
King, I gotta clean something up real quick, man. Can you give me like 3 minutes?
Okay, yep,
I've
absolutely.
got dog shit right over here, right next to me, man.
All right.
Sorry.
So while Coach goes and cleans up dog crap, yeah, Fort Gordon is renamed to Fort Eisenhower. Now, y'all, I'm an Air Force vet, so excuse me for not knowing any of the Army bases, right? Especially when they're flip flopping these bases, going from this base, renaming it to another base like Fort Liberty, and then going back to whatever the original name was or some other general. I can't keep up. All right. But yes, I've been to Augusta when they've had the Masters there and other golfing tournaments. And man, it is interesting. Golf money, when it comes in, it changes the whole landscape of the areas around there. And if you're networked well enough or you're connected enough, as long as you're able to work, which I want to say over the age of 16, you can go and work, whether it's on the books or off the books, and make some really good money when the Masters come in and other golf tournaments go down there in Augusta. I had a friend of mine that in her 20s, she would work the different events and stuff, learn the sport just so that she could waitress and stuff. And when you got these old dudes with money, they like to have a young person that looks good, that understands the sport around them. It is one of those things that since the beginning of time has always been a thing. So she would get tipped really well and make, I mean, hands of cash over a weekend. She'd make more money in a weekend than what some adults were making as managers in a month working at other locations. It's one of the reasons why certain people, when you get money in other ways than hard work, you look at money different, right? And she was able to do that, which I ain't hating. I'm definitely supportive of you getting your money by any means necessary. All right, and that's all I'm going to
Yeah.
say on that. Coach, are you back?
Hey, yeah. Speaking of money,
You were talking, and then I think you hit mute. There you go.
crap. Yeah, I pressed the wrong button. Yeah, speaking of getting money on that, just as kind of a little bit of a thing, man. I ended up selling several pairs of Jordans already, man.
Dude, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice, man.
I just sold the platinum tints, and well, buddy, let me give you a good one here.
Okay.
For the same exact amount, I sold those fucking orange ones, man. Yeah, I
Okay.
did for the same exact amount because I ended up buying the ones that you saw. I ended up buying that for the same exact amount. The ones that I sent in for today.
Okay.
So that yeah. I traded up and that's what those orange ones got me.
Good deal. Man, hey, you know what? That worked out. Before we go to the next story, shout out to all 119 people that are watching the sports bar here at WTF Nation Radio. If there's a like
Hell yeah.
button, do us a favor, hit that like button. And don't do like Mark Anthony said that he was doing about 30 minutes ago. I'm not going to repeat it. But
I gotta see that one. Is that ridiculously long freaking comment that has the hearts at the end of it?
no, that was spam. This was only 5 words, but I can't repeat what he wrote down. Not,
Oh, okay. Is that on Facebook or YouTube?
it's on Facebook.
All right, let me go take a look.
You shouldn't. All right, let's see. Next story up here. This is a bit of tragic news. All right. And let me go back to the story here, bring up my notes. So, in the NCAA realm, former LSU wide receiver and NFL draft prospect Kyron Lacey has died by an apparent, let's see, what's the appropriate way of saying this? He turned his own TV off yesterday, April 12th, 2025, in Houston, Texas, at the age of 24. According to Harris County Sheriff's Office, deputies were called to a domestic disturbance involving Lacey, during which he reportedly fired a gun into the ground. And when authorities attempted to stop his vehicle later that night, Lacey led them on a pursuit that ended with a crash. He found himself deceased from a self-inflicted wound at the end of the day. Now, if his name isn't unfamiliar to you, I think I said that right. Lacey's death occurred just days before a scheduled grand jury hearing related to a fatal car crash that occurred just recently on December 2024 in Atlanta. He had been charged with negligent homicide, felony hit and run, and reckless operation of a vehicle after allegedly causing a collision that killed 78-year-old Herman Hall. Lacey turned himself in and was released on bail, but that case had not yet proceeded to formal charges. Where does the controversy come in with him? Well, one of the injured that had occurred in there was a military veteran himself, and it seemed like Lacey was kind of skating on life, right? He caused this accident, somebody died, he was released on bail, several months had gone by, no charges. He continues as a young man, declares for the 2025 NFL Draft, and even participated in LSU's Pro Day. His attorney criticized the investigation and media coverage suggesting that the pressure from his legal troubles and public scrutiny ultimately contributed to Lacy's tragic end. LSU and members of the sports community have expressed condolences, and the incident has sparked a renewed discussion about mental health support for athletes. Now, I'm going to say this, and this may not come off right, but I'm going to say it in the best way that I can. I am always an advocate for mental health and taking care of yourself. I am also an advocate of proper accountability when you mess up and things don't go right. For example, I have zero sympathy for drunk drivers. None whatsoever. You put not just your life in jeopardy, but the lives of everybody on the road when you make the decision to be drunk and drive. Kyron,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Kyron,
Sorry, man. I thought. Yeah.
Kyron has displayed a lack of bad decision after bad decision. And not just that incident, but people that knew him also said that the kid was a bit of a hothead. He didn't like listening to people. And in his age demographic, when you look at people that enlist into the military or they get a commission in the military, they're within that 20 to 25 year age range, right? Where you're entrusting people to fly airplanes, kick down doors, carry weapons, throw grenades, shoot guns, administer medical, right? Cook for the troops, transport bombs, whatever. All of this stuff, you're entrusting people at that age with life and death decisions. Football is a sport. Ultimately, it allowed that young man the ability to be able to get NIL deals and could have potentially changed his life. Yet, often you hear about these athletes, which we're going to talk about Tyreek Hill after this one, that have these opportunities that are given chance after chance and repeatedly make bad decisions. And ultimately, he decided that it was time to turn his TV off, which y'all heard me talk about one of the last times that I was live, that I am not an advocate. I don't support that. There are resources out there. Use those resources. It is okay to accept accountability for the things that are going on. There is nothing wrong with that. There were several athletes that reached out and posted on X and Twitter and other social medias talking about the passing of Kyron Lacy, who had an opportunity to really live life had he chosen to make different choices in life. And several of the athletes, one of those being Russell Wilson, was extremely scrutinized because it's almost like Russell Wilson wasn't aware of the accident and death that Kyron Lacy caused just not even 4 months ago. So I think that when you allow certain actions to go unchecked, things can become insurmountable, but there is never a reason to go that far, in my opinion. Coach, I'm shutting up. You have the floor.
No, you summed it up perfectly, man. Look, very complicated situation, and it's sad to report them doing something like that. But yeah, there's certain things that people just have to pay the price for, and well, unfortunately, it's a non-sympathetic situation for. It's non-sympathetic for the person, but it's sympathetic for the family. That's the best way I can call it. Oh shit, dude, can you hear me? I can't hear you.
No, that was me.
Oh,
I was
there we
on mute.
go, buddy.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That wasn't you. It was me. Did you have anything else to add?
No, I don't, buddy. I'm good off of that one, man.
Okay. So the final thing that we're going to cover here is Tyreek Hill. This man seems to stay in the news for either having babies or causing incidents. But I do want to go back and give a bit of a history of Tyreek Hill before we showcase what recently just happened here. So give me a second. I gotta get some stuff set up, and we're good. Let's bring this over. Boom. Man, we are cooking with fish grease over here. So Tyreek Hill is a guy that played for a couple of different colleges, has already had a history of some type of domestic incident. And in one of our most recent coverages that we talked about him here at the Sports Bar, we kind of clowned him a bit for doing this whole, I'm going to divorce my wife while I'm having kids with two other people outside of the marriage, only to then blame the attorney for not putting in the papers the right way because he was trying to sneak attack his wife for the divorce, and then blame the attorney, in which the attorney came back and said, "Fool, I did everything you told me to do. Don't put this on me." And stay married to his ex, soon to be ex-wife, because in the most recent thing, she's gonna get this fool for all he's worth. So let me take off this Barney Minecraft thing here and get into this video. So Tyreek Hill was holding his daughter on the balcony of a high-rise in Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, during an alleged domestic dispute with his wife, Keita Hill, this past Monday, as seen in this footage that we're going to play below. The All-Pro Dolphins receiver was seen wearing a white tank top and holding their 5-month-old daughter and looking over the edge of a 35th floor balcony. And I'm going to tell y'all, there are certain things that, whatever, even if you have control of the situation, you just should and shouldn't do. And if you have a child close to a balcony and that child's mother is sitting right there saying, "Can you step away?" you might just decide to just listen, because now you are going to have an angry mother, whether you weren't intending on doing anything. You were just, "Hey, I come to this balcony all the time. I stand at this balcony. There's never had anything happen." But now you've got an angry mother saying, "Move away from the balcony." Now let's play this clip in which that's all he did. Oh, I don't think y'all can hear this. So, all right, so there was a call to the police involving a domestic dispute between Tyreek Hill and his wife. The mother-in-law called the cops as an assault in progress. Now, if y'all hear me pause it, it's because I'm hearing it and relaying what the call is. All right, so the police showed up. They made contact with Tyreek Hill and the wife. And according to the police report, it stated that Tyreek Hill became very aggressive and impulsive, and that he has anger issues, and that she was afraid for her daughter. And when she saw Tyreek Hill arguing, and he took a computer and threw the computer on the floor. Now, Tyreek Hill is known for blowing up. And when you have certain athletes that are in the spotlight, you can see their record and see their history and understand what type of person that they are, right? I have no sympathy for Tyreek Hill, nor do I have sympathy for his wife, because you knew what type of person that he was when you said "I do." You can't tell me otherwise. You can't tell me that you didn't get with Tyreek Hill, not knowing what his history was, and decided this is a good idea, right? I'm not saying that she deserves what's coming, because in the end, I think she's going to make out. They've been married for less than 3 years total. This fool, since they've been married, has had like 3 other kids while she's been married to him. And apparently, they didn't have an agreement for that, right? Because if you're somebody that has an open marriage and that's what you and your wife or you and your spouse decides to do, go for it. But when you expect to have monogamy and you have this athlete going out here skeeting off in any and everybody, and you just taking it on the chin, because hey, at least you're married to the cheetah, Tyreek Hill, right? A guy that is still over the age of 30, one of the top wide receivers in the NFL, a guy that left the Kansas City Chiefs because he wanted to be the diva, he wanted to be the star. Went to a team in the Miami Dolphins in which he had the nerve to say that the quarterback for the Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, is a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. He had the audacity to say that out of his mouth. He had the audacity to now demand to be traded or paid more, in which his first 2 seasons with the Dolphins, he played great. But when you look at his off the field antics as well, I don't see how a GM is going to budge on a player that is over the age of 30, that while he is still a freak of nature of an athlete, I think that you look at his off the season, off the field issues and go, yep, don't want to deal with him. Take a look at Antonio Brown. Take a look at Terrell Owens. And I like Terrell Owens. I said Terrell. I like Terrell Owens. But man, he became a headache everywhere that he went. Antonio Brown, same thing. Gave up on his team mid-season almost, right? So I think that Tyreek doesn't survive what's about to happen. He's going to have a middle-of-the-road season this season with the Dolphins, if he plays. And by the end of next season, he's going to be an afterthought and probably even out of the league. Similar to what OBJ was. Coach, you have the floor.
The self-destruction of a wide receiver in the NFL is going to be a case study for many years to come. Because of the diva nature of all wide receivers, they will end up inevitably ruining their career. It doesn't surprise me that Mr. Tyreek Hill is going to fall for many of the prey of the Keyshawn Johnson and fall short of the halls of Canton. Mainly because he likes to put his dick into every other woman that has a heartbeat. And then on top of that, too, might I also add, is this the same woman that he was pulled over with on his day over there to the when he was late for the game?
Nope.
Oh, was it? Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. So go figure that one. All right. Well, yeah. Tyreek, you know what? This is where the what ifs come in. The NFL does stand for not for long. And you're going to be becoming a what if because your career is going to go down as one of the greatest wide receivers to play during your time, but a huge waste of potential as you failed to win any Super Bowls, you failed to win any MVPs, and all you really have done is gone past what's to the. And he made it to the Super Bowl. Am I correct with the first? Yeah,
he did. Yep.
Did he win?
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck! Never mind then. Okay, well, so did Keyshawn Johnson. All right. Yeah. Have fun on Fox News or Fox Sports or whatever fucking one of the pregame shows you're going to be doing within the next 5 or 6 years. NFL Today. How about that? You're going to be on the NFL Network. That's where you're going to be, Tyreek.
Yeah, he won the Super Bowl that the Chiefs played against the 49ers. They won 31-20 in that one. That was the what was it? That was the 2020 Super Bowl.
That was it was because it was before COVID and everybody forgot everything before COVID.
Man, you know what? It's crazy how you kind of look at things as pre-COVID and post-COVID.
All right, and think about this. And this, I don't know who the hell won the 2020 Stanley Cup, but that was over in a COVID shutdown. Everybody forgets that the Lakers won the freaking championship in the bubble. I don't even remember who won the 2020 World Series that year because I think like it was in like certain places and they all played in Texas for like 1 year. Yeah, there has been like pre 2020 sports and then like post 2020 sports. There really is a division that has come up from that. Yeah, I vaguely remember a lot of the stuff of yeah, I vaguely like there is like a line of delineation like before 9/11 and post 9/11 there is a sports delineation for me from pre-COVID to post-COVID and during COVID.
Man, I don't get why Tyreek Hill would leave that quarterback because I'm taking a look at touchdown records by receivers. Tyreek Hill has like 82 of current active players, right? Your current active players, you're looking at, ooh, I got to scroll up here. Mike Evans. Mike Evans with 105. Had he stayed with Kansas City and kept a similar trajectory, I don't think he's coming up on Rice at 197. I think that's unbeatable. I think it is unbeatable. You would have to have a rookie come in
Look,
14 a season as a rookie with 15 seasons.
yeah, there's Jerry Rice's record also goes to longevity of Jerry Rice because he played for at least another 8 or 9 seasons at a decently high level after last winning the Super Bowl with the 49ers. He was there when Owens got that last second touchdown. In fact, if I'm correct, there was like I think it was like Jerry Rice's last game. He had scored like 20, but Owens scored that last minute touchdown to win the game for it. And then Jerry ended up going to Oakland, and
Mm-hmm.
Oakland ended up going to the Super Bowl with him. So yeah, Jerry Rice has got the longevity portion of it. I don't think Tyreek Hill will ever have that longevity portion to it. And on top of that, Jerry Rice was a much better route runner, which kept him going as he was getting older because he wasn't relying just on the speed to beat one on one.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if you really want to put a comparable wide receiver together, how many does Larry Fitzgerald have?
He has 121.
Yeah, you see that 121, still 70 behind him. And Larry Fitzgerald, you threw the ball to him. He has more tackles than he does dropped passes. That's an unbelievable stat. He has more tackles than he does dropped passes. And he's only got 121.
When you look at players over 75 touchdown receptions that are currently active, the list starts with Travis Kelce at 77, Tyreek Hill at 82, DeAndre Hopkins at 83, and then you go to Devontae Adams at 103 and Mike Evans at 105.
Nah, neither one of them getting it. Mike just did 10 years of 1,000. Him and Jerry both got it. He still has to go another not he still has another 90 to go. No, that ain't happening.
Nope.
No.
All right, we've got a couple of comments here.
You know what? I'm going to give you one. I'm going to give you one that may approach that record. May. Giving it May. Justin Jefferson. Young enough. Quite possibly could be the person who could get 2,000 as well. Good enough runner, great hands, height, speed, everything. I think he could do it. He could. Yeah.
All right, let's see. Let's see as we continue the sports bar how close Coach is going to be on that. let's take a look at our comments here and then close out the show. We got U.S. Army memes in a building. Over on Facebook said, "What's good?" Hey man, I appreciate you tuning in. Said, I don't even know what I ate last week. You know, I don't know what I ate. Actually, I do know what I ate earlier today. Cause man, let me tell y'all. Y'all want to know part of why we started late? Cause of what I ate.
Oh dear God.
Let's see. U.S. Army meme said, "I got a Tyreek Hill signed mini helmet." You know, look, it could be worth something, right? Especially to a collector here. I'm going to reach out to David Cunningham, and then see if he has words for us to close out the show. Words to close out the
It's
show.
kind of funny that you got a mini helmet from, or the irony of it that you got a mini helmet from freaking Tyreek Hill when a mini helmet could have solved a lot of his fucking problems.
Oh, that's a good one. I gotta get, man. Next show, I'm having my soundboard working because that would have been a doo doo. Coach be coming with the one-liners.
Ah, yeah, we got a couple. I got a couple good ones.
There's an image. I'm gonna see if I could bring this up and then close out the show. There's an image that somebody created that had Tariq Hill's recent baby mamas and pictures with them and their jerseys. And man, oh, here it is. All right, let me see if I can get this image on the screen. Let's do it this way. Save image. Save it here. Then we're gonna go into the studio. I'm gonna change this image. Let's bring this up. Oh, actually, let's not bring that one up. Let's bring this one up. All right, so this is a picture of Tyreek Hill's baby mamas, or at least some of the recent ones, because I think he's got a whole football team at this point. Right there. When you look at these lovely, lovely ladies, you can safely assume somebody's got a type. Somebody's got a type.
Yeah, he does.
As I can't tell the difference between any one of these lovely young ladies here who have the Tyreek Hill jersey on their baby. Like, are you proud of that? Are they proud of that? I don't know. I'm not judging. Whatever.
I mean, yeah, they are proud of it because I mean, this is their way to make sure that for the next 18 years they get money.
Yeah. Yep. Man. All right. Let me go back here. Let's see. All right. So David Cunningham, I reached out to him to see if he got words for us to close out the show. Well, let's give it a potato. Coach, close us out here while we wait to see if David has something for us.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, one thing that is kind of exciting about today with the Masters being played, NASCAR finally getting out of their spring time, and then Formula One also going into their Saudi or their Middle East trips. The great part about it is that as the boredom of the MLB season starts upon us, the most exciting time within the NBA and the NHL is upon us as it is playoff time. The only time anybody really gives a half of a crap about those two of them. So we start today knowing that our future for the next several weeks is going to be filled with sports because we are going to have the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, Major League Baseball will be playing in the background. And then the NFL draft will be upon us. And somehow the New York Jets are going to fuck it up. And I don't know how they're going to fuck it up, but Aaron Glenn really does not have given me any confidence. This team is in dire need of a quarterback, and they're not going to be able to get any type of difference maker quarterback. So it's going to be another year of what in the fuck are you fucking doing? That being said, I'm still looking forward to this next several months while we have something else other than fucking baseball and NASCAR to watch during the summer. You know that today, without football, I watched 3 different types of racing. I watched English Premier League soccer. I watched baseball. I watched hockey. I watched basketball. And I watched golf. I need fucking football back in my life. That's what we all need in our life. So please, please, for the love of God, football, come back. Come back in 2 weeks. Give us a good NFL draft. Don't give us a shitty one. Give us a good one. Give us one where I go home as a Jet fan and actually feel somewhat better about the future than I normally do. Other than that, you guys have a great Easter holiday, and thank God we are not going to be there on Easter, because Easter and 420 on a sports show, that's going to be more dead than watching Pop Culture Warrior on Tuesdays. Oh, I had to put that little dig in there.
Nice, nice. Now, in the chat here, I put the link, and this is not working the way that I need it to work, so I'm not gonna be able to make that work out. But you know what? I can at least show it on the screen. So, boop. There's a link to the U.S. Army WTF Moments shop that's got shirts, that's got stickers, that's got decals, that's got patches, and even baby gear for our baby WTF Nation radio fans. Tyreek Hill, come to shoparmywtfmoments.bigcartel.com and buy something for all 15 of your babies. All right. It's not allowing me to display it up on the screen properly. I'll get that fixed later. But we do have a shop. If you would like to support WTF Nation Radio, go over to shoparmywtfmoments.bigcartel.com and purchase something. I am actually going to purchase something here myself and hope that it comes in by our media our trivia show here in 2 weeks. So, with that being said, David Cunningham did not get words back to me in time. That is fine. We still love you, David. David is going to be the recipient of our March Madness gifts, in which he forewent $100 in cold hard cash to ask for merchandise, and we are going to send him merchandise, which is going to be a substantially lighter load on our pockets. So, thank y'all for tuning in. We will be back live next Sunday here at WTF Nation Radio. Going into the week here, be sure to tune in to all of our shows starting tomorrow, in which Boss Man will be live on the Monday edition here at WTF Nation Radio. I'm King. The avatar right there, because his face is too ugly for live streaming, is Coach. We're out. Peace.